Thanks for joining us today at noon. I'm Anne-Marie Tiernan along with Sean Ash. And as promised, a messy start to the workday today. Some roads downtown, Sean, we're hearing are having flooding. It's cold. It's uncomfortable. It's just everything you said it was going to be.
Not a real nice day. We've had the thunderstorms as well. May have a few more of those. And yeah, that flooding, a function most likely, we've had some areas of heavy rain, but I think what's going on too, a lot of the leaves are collecting in some of the drainage areas. So that is a November tradition around here. Let's show you what's going on in terms of roadways. They are wet. We've had a situation where this semi was on fire earlier. They're now beginning to wrap that up. That's I-465 there at Washington Street. Wet pavement, that will be the story for the remainder of today. These are radar rain estimates where the heaviest has been falling from Terre Haute through Franklin, Bloomington, and Columbus. These are confirmed rain reports thus far. We will add to the totals here. 3/4 to over an inch in some locations along and south of I-70. It's been lighter, but boy, it is just a chilly day. It's going to be cold rain north, very limited chance you'll have any thunder. The rain is scattering out right now. I do expect we will get some redevelopment over the course of the next 2 to 3 hours here. And the reason why, there's an area of low pressure to our west. And as that gets closer to us in the coming hours, we're going to see an increased lift and increased resurgence of downpours and possibly a few rumbles of thunder. I don't expect we're going to have a lot of severe weather. Some more lightning is possible. Some of these stronger cells may have some small hail with them, and this will occur between now and about 6 p.m. Buckle up for some cloudy days. Another rainmaker ahead too, all coming up in the 7-day forecast.
All right, Sean, thank you.
Yeah.
Right now at noon today, we are hearing from the family of that National Guardsman who was killed in a crash along I-65. This happened last Friday, and they are responding to tweets that were made from Indiana Senator Jim Banks about the crash, and they now are accusing the senator of using the death of their loved one, Specialist Terry Fry, as a, quote, political prop. Banks tweeted Monday claiming that Specialist Fry's life was cut short along I-65 by an undocumented immigrant who should have never been here in the first place. Well, that didn't set well with Fry's family. And just about an hour ago, they sent a statement to 13 News, reading in part, "On behalf of Terry Fry's family, we need to make something absolutely clear. Terry's death is not a political prop. He was a son, a father, a soldier, and a deeply loved member of our family long before he was a headline. Turning the worst moment of our lives into a talking point for any political agenda is inappropriate and hurtful." It goes on to say, "We appreciate your condolences. We do not appreciate this tragedy being weaponized. Please let our family grieve without being pulled into politics." Specialist Fry died in that crash along I-65 south of Whitestown on Friday during the noon hour. There are 3 other guardsmen injured in that incident, and just within the last 45 minutes, the Boone County Sheriff's Office identified those 3 soldiers. They are Isaiah Phillips of Ingalls, Indiana, Nicholas Reinhardt of Washington, Indiana, and Luke Richardson of Carmel, Indiana. All 3 soldiers survived the crash and currently are being treated at an area hospital. Down at the Indiana State House, the redistricting saga continues today. It was just moments ago that demonstrators came and gathered at the State House, rallying in support of redistricting. This all comes as Indiana lawmakers are set to meet later today to plan the next legislative session. Lawmakers are facing looming pressure, and it comes from the White House to reconsider a vote on redrawing the congressional maps or face primary competitors that are backed by him. Yesterday afternoon, the governor posted on X saying that he had a great call with the president and that he's on board with redistricting, and he's calling on the Senate to pass the new maps. That's the Indiana Senate. But President Trump is still firing, not holding back on members of the Indiana General Assembly. In fact, he called out Senate Majority Leader Roderick Bray, calling his politics, quote, weak and pathetic. Senate Minority Leader Shelley Yoder chimed in, saying that Hoosiers made their voices very loud and very clear. They do not want congressional maps redrawn. We continue to follow the developments in the rallying and the next meeting over the next legislative session, and as we learn more, we'll bring it to you. Also, our Dustin Grove and Emily Longnecker have been following this debate for months now. In fact, they discussed it on the most recent episode of Crossroad Politics. If you would like to check that out, it's easy to do. It is streaming right now on WTHR+. Some developing traffic news we want to make sure you're aware of if you're out and about on this rainy day. Right now, one southbound lane on the right side closed on I-465 after a semi-truck caught fire today. And you can see that crews are still there right now. As we look live, they're working to get this mess cleaned up and under control and get all those lanes back open. But it is a big improvement over what it looked like earlier this morning. We want to show you from 10:30 this morning, this along the 45-mile marker that's near East Washington Street. Right now, we're working to learn what caused the fire and if anyone is hurt. And as we learn more, we will bring it to you, not only in this newscast, but on all WTHR platforms. Also this afternoon, Metro Police are on the south side investigating a deadly crash that occurred there around 6:45 this morning on South Harding Street. The location specifically is more between West Hannah Avenue and I-465. Police say a Camaro that was heading south crossed into oncoming traffic, and in doing so was then T-boned by a pickup truck that was going the other direction. The driver of the Camaro died. The pickup truck driver was not seriously hurt. Investigators say intoxication not a factor in this crash. A former Wingstop worker now sentenced to 7 years in prison after accepting a plea deal in a shooting that dates back to February. Ezra Watkins pleaded guilty to aggravated battery. Prosecutors dropped a battery by means of deadly weapon charge. That shooting happened after a DoorDash delivery driver went to the Wingstop on West 10th Street, and there was some confusion over the pickup order. The driver says some workers there attacked him before he was shot. To the northwest side in Boone County, where prosecutors say a deadly mistake in a Whitestown neighborhood will lead to criminal charges. A homeowner is now accused of voluntary manslaughter after investigators say that he shot and he killed Maria Florinda Rios Perez, a cleaning worker who arrived at the wrong house. That ended up being deadly. The Boone County prosecutor says the case does not meet Indiana's Stand Your Ground protections. Alex Almanza is digging into the case, and as he learns more, we'll make sure we bring it to you. But here's the very latest.
Boone County prosecutors are explaining why they've charged homeowner Kurt Anderson with voluntary manslaughter.
Cases of this nature require a meticulous review of every detail.
Investigators saying Anderson fired a single shot through his locked front door, killing Maria Florinda Rios Perez as she arrived at the wrong home for her job.
We have determined that Kurt Anderson's actions do not fall within the legal protections provided by the Indiana Stand Your Ground law.
But Anderson's attorney Guy Relford says the state got it wrong and that Anderson believes someone was breaking in, posting on X that his actions were, quote, fully justified by the Castle Doctrine provision of Indiana's self-defense law, and that, quote, the law does not allow a criminal conviction based on hindsight. Instead, Mr. Anderson's action must be evaluated based on the circumstances as he perceived them. Perez's family attorneys say it's a case they've never seen.
But the children and the family demand justice so that other families do not have to go through what we are going through.
Community advocates helping the family say their focus now is supporting Maria's children, including a 1-year-old boy who just celebrated a birthday without his mother.
The main focus is that Maria is not forgotten in this moment, and that there is still, a movement to seek justice.
Megan Tomlinson runs a nonprofit and is helping the family keep Maria's legacy alive. For her, it's personal.
My mom was murdered. There's no justice for her. And so I spent a lot of time with the prosecutors, working with them to get her case reopened and then charges filed. But I think this is exactly what the family was wanting, was some sort of justice.
Right now is held without a bond until his initial hearing that is set for this coming Friday. In the meantime, the Boone County prosecutors say they will not comment further until this case is over. Today marks the deadline for the commissioners in Clinton County to make a decision on rezoning efforts for a data center in Frankfort. It comes after the county leaders took a trip out east in New Jersey, and they went there to tour an emerging data center facility there. A commissioner tells 13 News that trip was paid for by the developer. We will monitor developments on the deadline today and bring you the latest as we learn them. In the meantime, people who are over in the Martindale-Brightwood neighborhood, they've got a similar issue, and they're saying no to a proposed data center there. A company called Metro Blocks filed to rezone about a dozen acres there. Yesterday, a handful of neighbors went outside the property protesting, holding signs that said, "No data center." They believe this redevelopment will be harmful for the area and say the company itself is too unknown. Metro Blocks say they would build sound barriers around the building and claim their generators will not pollute the area. An attorney representing that company says a hearing on rezoning is now set for the 11th of December. Allegiant Airline pilots now hitting the picket line, and they're doing so at Indianapolis International Airport out on the west side. It's all part of a nationwide demonstration right now, demanding an end to contract negotiation delays. More than 1,400 pilots across 22 airports, including Indy, plan to protest, and this all started at 10 this morning and continues right now. The union representing them says Allegiant is losing talented and experienced pilots to competitor airlines, and that puts flight routes at risk.